Hello, hello, hello. So I'm gonna give everybody a few minutes to enter the chat. I hope that you guys will be patient. We're gonna talk about The Bachelor, Season 25, Episode 3. I don't think it has a name, but it was a good episode. So much intrigue. I mean, this cast of ladies are really giving us all of our money's worth. They really, really are. This is it's some shocking behavior that's going on, and let's talk about it. My energy is a little low because I had like anxiety situation happen earlier today, so I took some Xanax. So I'm real mellow right now. Real mellow. But don't think that my heart isn't palpitating for all of the drama that's happening. So I'm going to start talking about the episode at 2. It is now 1:57. So during this, if you guys are not watching this live, I want to be as respectful as I can for your time and your patience. This won't start until 2 p.m. Afterwards, we'll have a kiki and a conversation. I will not be looking at the chat section because it's a little distracting. However, if you would like my attention, you can go on ahead and give me a super chat. First, though, let me say hi to my moderators that are into the room. We've got Lynn J, or Lindsay J. We've got Mickey, aka Quasimodem, and we've got Black Buddha Fly 99, and I believe that's Tiana. Thank you guys so much for being here. Everything looks good today. I'm so happy. I really hope that it doesn't slow down and get weird. Black Lavender, she came on over from Nikki's channel. Thank you so much. Okay, so hopefully I've got all my pictures queued up, ready to go. So I want you guys to be able to, see that. I'm going to put up this picture of Matt and his abs, so that we can know who we're talking about. I hate this picture of him. It makes me feel like he's just like annoying. Hold on, let me find another picture of him. Matt James, is this one? Oh, that's MJ. Too cute? Who's too cute? Oh, this is the one that was too cute to talk to him. Matt James. Okay, but he's behind me because the last time I did this live, he was, oh no, wrong thing, don't move that. The last time I talked about him, I put him over my face. So let me go ahead and move him to where he is there. Let's see if I can move him. What is that? Is that him that I'm moving? Oh no, he's too far behind now. Okay, let's put it there. There he is. There you are, Matt. All right, let's make it a little smaller so you can know exactly who we're talking about, what we're looking at. That's 3 minutes went by fast. Hey guys. Welcome to my channel. Let's start off with my normal moniker. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of season 25 of The Bachelor, starring Matt James as our Bachelor. Matt has never been a part of any reality TV franchise, and we can absolutely tell by the way that he is managing these ladies this day. Because really, all this is about managing your bachelorettes. The same thing for the women. They have to manage the bachelors and make sure that they're not acting a whole fool. And the last 2 bachelorettes I watched was obviously Rachel and whatever her name was. I can't remember her name. Caitlin, Katie, I don't know. But she was really good about understanding the dynamics of what happens when you are a contestant on this. And they were both really good at speaking to the process because they were a part of it. Matt, you can tell that he doesn't understand how this works, okay? So, you guys, this is something I want to say. Even though Matt, wanted us to know that he was biracial and he was raised by his mother, who is white, a Trump-supporting person, he sleeps with a do-rag on. And I think that's really indicative of his blackness. Guys, if you're hearing like some sound in the background, it's because the wind is blowing ferociously. So that's what that is. But he wears a do-rag. I see those waves. He doesn't have the line, which means that maybe he's not sleeping in it all night or like it's not as tight. But those waves, those are do-rag waves. Also, in order to cover the fact that he's balding, he's like brushing the hair forward. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, as much as Matt, I think, here's the deal. I take back what I said about me being slightly uncomfortable. I am in this context because he is on this show to be the first Black Bachelor, and so I needed him to live in that and step in that and stay in that. But because of this, because of the implications, and because of our racist ass country, it just really makes me want someone who is solid and like very proud of being Black. But going back to some of his college photos and high school photos, the man had dreads, so he's well aware of his blackness. I think maybe to be more palatable for the middle of the country, perhaps he had to talk about the fact that his mother was white, and so, you know, he living in both kind of world. And when I said that, the biracial comment, I was more so meaning towards people who are African American and white American, because that is the thing that I think affects us the most. Like, obviously, if you are biracial and you are Black and Asian, like, you have those two cultures to go with. But I don't quite understand what like white culture in America is, unless you're like Cajun or like from the Apollonian Mountains or whatever. Like, I don't quite understand what that is. That's what I mean by I need to know, because I have my white friends and none of them are like, this is my thing, you know. Like, I don't know what that looks like, especially being in America. So, all right, let's move on. I've spent enough time talking about that. Okay, so the night stops when Sarah faints. It is all too much for her. The drama between Marilyn and Victoria, everything that's going on, and a producer has to come and get her, help her, take her off the side. Immediately, Captain Save-A-Ho Matt James runs over to her to see if she's okay. There are 6 roses left. So these girls are just like, okay, this is not the opportune time. Could you have plotted your faint later on? Thanks. Victoria is not happy. Victoria says that this is not the Sarah show, and it's becoming the Sarah show. And if we know who Victoria is, let's go to Queen Victoria so you have an idea of who Queen Victoria is, because she plays a lot in this episode. Don't let this woman fool you. Also, if you notice the picture I just put up of her, she has her occupation as queen. Everyone else has what their real occupation is. Corporate attorney is Laura. Dildo Katie is a bank marketing manager. And Bree is a communications manager. But Victoria, she's a queen. Which means what? She does nothing? She lives off of somebody else's, her family's money? Who knows what that means? So Matt then walks away to go help out with Sarah. This all takes a few minutes because a lot of the ladies are just sitting down, and he ends up taking Sarah outside to give her some fresh air, and then they end up kissing, you know, because he wants to make her feel better or whatever. There are so many times while watching this episode that I was like, and let's pray. Because Matt started off this whole thing with a prayer, okay, listen, last time I was Christian, there was a certain amount of chastity. Chastity is the wrong word. There's a certain amount of chastity that you must have. There's a certain amount of your body being a temple that you must have. And so someone who would start the season off with a prayer, I'm just like, you shouldn't be kissing all these bitches. Like, first of all, like, you just shouldn't be kissing all of them, okay? Like, that's too much. You know, I'm judging you in the name of the Lord. Okay, so Matt says that after all of this, that he needs to follow his heart. We pan over to the ladies standing, and you know, after Sarah's okay and feeling better, and we see that Marilyn and Victoria are standing next to each other, and we're just like, Victoria, I thought you didn't want to be next to toxic Marilyn, but no, you just had to get out the competition because she was undoubtedly one of the prettier women there. So who's left is now we have Kayla, MJ, Victoria, Mari, and Anna, who end up getting the rose. And so a lot of the girls go away, especially this one girl who I don't know her name, but she definitely wore a foundation that wasn't quite right for her. And every time I saw her, she just looked ashy. She always looks like how they had Whitney Houston looking in the 90s before they like actually found like undertones and makeup for Black women. You know, it is what it is. All right, so she went home, and then we pan over to Serena C with them boots, girl. Give us those boots. She had on some almost thigh-high silver glittery boots, And the next time I clocked her, she had on some great boots as well. So I'm here for Serena P's whole ensemble. You know what I'm saying? She has got a great fashion sense and she's beautiful. Okay, so we have Victoria, who is now scheming for it. Let me put Serena P up here. I mean, Serena C, so you could see her. Do I have her up here? Probably not. Yeah, I don't have her. I mean, I have a picture of her, but I don't have it saved in my little thingy. Should I do it? I've had Victoria up the whole time. I feel like I want to show you guys what the other Serena looks like. Here, let me find it. Serena C. And I also have to add Serena, the other one, because she went on a date. And if I don't have a picture of her, like, what kind of podcaster slash like person am I? Okay, so we've got Piper, Serena C. Where's she at? Where you at, girl? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Ah, there you are. There you are. Okay. So we got Serena C on the board, okay? Let's also put Serena P in there because we're going to end up talking about her. Serena P. I'm not going to talk about her right now, but in the future. You thought I had a whole hour of getting ready doing this and I was going to be so ready and then I wasn't going to go. Oh, you know who it was who left? I'll show you a picture of her right now. Cancel. Okay. So let's go on ahead and these ladies, let's take them off the screen because, you know, we're not going to talk about them right now. Let's add Sydney, the one who went home because her makeup was bad. These are just my little interjections. But I'm like, if you're going to be on national TV, I'm going to need you to get it together. I honestly think that the reason why Alicia, who was the ballerina, I honestly think the reason why she didn't stay is because she didn't wear any lip gloss and we couldn't see her lips. I mean, what other possible reason could there possibly be? Thank you guys to my moderators. I see you over there with the thumbs ups. I absolutely appreciate it. Okay, so let's look over. Serena was the one who went home, or Sydney was the one who went home. Didn't even know her name. Who is she? Who is this person? She went home because she was boring. She was boring and her foundation was wrong. Okay, let's take her off the screen. Okay, so they're in Nemacolin. I now want to travel to Nemacolin. It looks so beautiful in the fall. They keep, every time they get on the screen, we see that they're in Nemacolin, 100%. Oh my God, Lynn J and Aspasia, you guys, thumbs up. Thank you. Oh, thank you guys. I was in Nikki Starr's chat as well. We talked about it. I told her that I would go live after her. She's been on the air for about 2 hours now, so I was going to start mine at 2. The ladies are talking. This is the next day. The ladies are having their morning talk. You know, they're supposed to all look fresh face. People have their glasses on, but they still got their mascara and their CC cream. I see it. However, Victoria seems like she's the only person that's just like, if I'm supposed to be fresh face, I'm not going to wear any makeup. And she has bags under her eyes because you know what? I know Victoria has been up all night plotting. Those are those bags. Her plots. Okay. So the like, what's that word we get? The thing we get from Chris is that they're going to do something that is going to make them uncomfortable. And we're all like, what is this going to be? What is going to happen to make this whole situation more uncomfortable than it already is? Women fighting over a man. And so it's a group date. There's going to be one private date and there's going to be one group date. And so Matt, they say Matt has trouble feeling uncomfortable. So now we're going to do something that makes him uncomfortable. They have the group date. There's a lot of women on the group date. And all the ladies get together and they head into this area where they have erected a stage. And then we hear a voice. We hear a woman reading some kind of erotic fiction. Okay. It turns out that that erotic fiction was written by the host, Chris. And I guess it's a plug and we're supposed to want to listen to erotic or read erotic written by a man. Personally, I don't read erotic written by a man. I like to read erotic written by a woman. So, I mean, maybe he or maybe a lot of the people that I love to listen to are having fake names so that they can sell books. Okay. So the spotlight comes onto this girl who is somebody with an initial as the last name. And I am assuming that she used to be a part of the series in some way, but she is wearing a pair of tough blue high-waisted pants. Loved every second of it, and earrings to match. Now, this whole situation has got me 100% uncomfortable. I listen to erotic fiction because I have Audibles, right? I wish this was sponsored by Audibles, but it's not. I love listening to that kind of stuff, right? I've listened to the 50 Shades of Grey, or I read that because when that came out, I didn't have Audibles. I was in the streets of New York, girl, reading that book like this, like, hope nobody sees me. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And then I also read anything by J.D. Ward. Girl, the Black Dagger Brotherhood. Girl, sexy vampires being sexy while having sex. Yes. Yes. So I love me some erotic fiction, but having it read out loud, I couldn't do it. So they all have to write their love story to Matt. Okay. And by telling it in an erotic fashion. Matt goes up first. I don't like his outfit, but okay. They have him with some rolled up pants that I don't like. Matt goes up first, and every time you think he's going to say something sexy, he reaches her hands and cups her shoulders. You're like, oh, he doesn't cup her ass? This is boring. But then again, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, take me from this devil of premarital sex. Okay. And the ladies are having fun. You know, they are at first very worried about having to do this, but then they all take it with stride and they do much better than I would ever actually do. Okay. So Anna goes first, and she has like a jovial, fun situation that she does. I didn't really pay attention to it because my nephew was with me and he was like, you know, trying to jump on my back, but I'm assuming it was good. All the ladies like it. They're all having fun. Oh, and also they bring the ladies who are not a part of the group date that are sitting in the very back of it, and they are witnessing this. So it's like there's a full audience. The women who are on the date, Matt, and the women who are not on the date, and then all of the cast and crew of the show. And Dildo Katie, she does a good job afterwards. Apparently she gets I have her picture. Let's put up Dildo Katie. She does a very good job, and Matt ends up hugging her afterwards. So she's starting to show herself more than just the girl with the dildo, but she will be forever by me be called Dildo Katie. Let us not forget. Victoria goes up in a sheer bodysuit, which, as much as I would love to hate on Victoria, I could not hate on Victoria's outfit. It was a sheer bodysuit, and she went literally balls to the walls. I think hers was the most erotic and the most, like, I didn't even know what she was saying because every other word was bleeped out. And then we have Sarah. Sarah's in the back, and she's sad. Okay? Sarah, let's bring up Sarah. Sarah doesn't know how to take this. Like, she's had a really good date with him. She's opened up to him, told her about her familial situation, but she is not okay watching Matt date other women. She's just not okay with it. And it's starting to hit her in a place and making her feel very, very insecure. Bree is on the group date, and she gets another chance to hang out with Matt. So I'm not sure what Bree says. Again, there was a lot going on, and so I wasn't able to concentrate on it. But that's Kyla. No, Kyla girl. Let's see, where's Bree? And so we love Bree, right? Bree is the one who's half Persian and grew up with her mother, and her mother was 13 years old when she had her. And so Bree has already had a single date with Matt. And so it's really interesting that she's on this group date. I honestly think that Bree is going to be one of the top 4. I think that she's so beautiful and so genuine and kind. And I think that their time together has been relatively wholesome. And I think that he is intrigued by her. And I would like her to be top 4. I like her. Rachel, Rachel says that this is uncomfortable for her. She is not used to talking about sex and different things out loud. And so to have this happen has been really, really hard for her. But she is going to push out of her comfort zone. I guess I don't have a picture of her either, so let me find one. She's going to push out of her comfort zone in order to do this because she wants to show Matt that she is a sexual person or a sensual person. Also, she just wants to keep up with the Joneses, because if she's the only person that isn't talking about it, girl, then like, why are you even here? So she does that. And he, I guess she does her best. Again, I don't really remember. But when they have their one-on-one, so after this, everybody files out and they have their sort of one-on-one group date with him where they all get a certain amount of time to sit down with him. And immediately when he sits next to her, he grabs her leg. And the church girl in me wanted to slap his hands away. Like, don't touch me. I just seen you hugging and kissing a bunch of other women. Don't touch my leg, sir. Don't try to get familiar and fresh with me. But, you know, nobody else feels the way I do. So they were okay with it. That's the one thing that I would have the hardest problem or hardest part with this show is I would have a hard time with this person who's supposedly, wanting to date me, then touching other girls, like intimate. Like touching my legs is pretty intimate. It feels like touching my legs is pretty close to my nether regions. And so you can't touch me, okay? Without me having some kind of like emotion about it. So as Matt is talking to her, I notice that his lips are ashy. And I don't understand why no member of the crew brought him some chapstick. Why doesn't he have it in his pocket? All the kissing that he does, he requires to have chapstick, preferably some antibacterial chapstick, so that he can kiss everybody. Now, I know everybody's gone through quarantine and they don't have no coronavirus, but girl, I felt nasty about all the kissing that happened on this show prior to even the pandemic. So now in a pandemic, I'm like, this yuck bucket situation is not for me. And he kisses with his eyes open. This is how Matt goes into kiss. He's like, and then he like doesn't have his eyes full open, but they're like down to where he's like looking at her, which is always so weird. I always like when I've kissed somebody and I open my eyes and there's looking at me, I'm like, what's happening? This is too much. Okay, so after that, we see that Serena P gets a solo date. And, Serena P, we don't know much about her, honestly. Like, I don't, there's nothing that has, like, jumped out to me to where I'm like, oh, this person, yeah. She's kind of plain Jane. She's kind of like, I don't really, to me, at least. Hold on, let me remove something that's on the screen. No, nothing. I don't know what that is. Okay, so let's get to Serena P. So, let's see. Oh, did I forget the whole group date debacle? Yes, I didn't write it down because I didn't think I would forget about it. Okay, so there is a whole group date drama. So after Rachel has her time, Dildo Katie ends up having her time with Matt, right? So Dildo Katie and Matt are talking. And I guess they're having a pretty good conversation and they haven't had much time to talk. I think she has established herself because she came in with that dildo and he had such a good laugh. But they haven't really had much time to talk, honestly. And then Sarah jumps in. Now, Sarah is not even on this date. And as you remember, Sarah was one of the audience members. And so she's seeing all these women talk erotic to her man, I guess, and whatever. And even though they've had such a good bond, her and Matt, she's feeling really insecure. So during this date, she comes out of her room to have a conversation with Matt and interrupts Katie and says, hey, Katie, can I talk to him for a second? And Katie's like, sure. And that was mistake number one. Excuse me, this is not night one. You don't get to interrupt my date. So no, is what I would have said if I were Katie. But Katie didn't say no. And I don't understand why these women don't just stand their ground. They have a limited amount of time with this man. And the answer is no. And instead of Matt putting her in her place, which I think Rachel or that other girl whose name I can't remember would have done, he doesn't do that. He goes, okay, and he entertains Sarah. And so Sarah pulls him aside, and Katie gets up and goes back into the room with the other ladies who are waiting to have their time with Matt. And she's like, I just want to tell you that I'm feeling like really insecure seeing you kissing these other women, and I know we had such a good time, and it's like I know that jealousy is bubbling up, but I don't know if this process is right for me. I don't know if this is something that I want to do. And Matt's like, I want you here. Don't leave, don't, just know that whatever situation that you and I had, that was very much real, and I don't want you to leave because I know this process can be hard. I understand that you're seeing me with other women, but if you can just like kind of tunnel vision onto what you know our relationship is, that would be helpful. So Dildo Katie's in there telling all the girls like what's going on. And Victoria and a couple of girls are like, get up and go back in there. Go in there and interrupt it. Go back in there. So she's like, okay. So she goes back in there to interrupt it. And she's like, hey, it's been 5 minutes if I can have my time back. And Sarah's like, but I really need to have this conversation with him because if you could just give me 5 more minutes. And Dildo Katie's like, 2 more minutes. I can give you 2 more minutes. And she's like, well, I mean, okay. And so then Dildo Katie goes and hides behind like the ottoman, not the ottoman. What's that thing called? Like a screen. And she's still in the room and she can hear them kissing. And then she jumps back in to interrupt it. And then Sarah's like, I mean, guys, we're not quite done yet. So, and she puts her jacket on her shoulders and she's like, just give me a couple more minutes. And so she goes out with Matt outside. Matt entertains this. This is why I know that this guy is not understanding what his role is. He entertains this, takes her outside, further reassures her with a bunch of kisses, and then sends her off on her merry way and then goes back to try to have a conversation with Katie. But the vibe is already changed. It's already done. And so on her way out, Sarah decides to go in and talk to the other women and have a conversation with them about what she just did so that she can come out and just kind of be like, yeah, hey ladies, this is what I did. I didn't want you to hear from, Katie, but this is what's going on. And she's like, I just had some stuff to say to Matt. And so I just wanted to come in here and just express that to you guys and let you guys know what was going on. And they were like, well, what's going on? And she's like, I just had some personal stuff to say with Matt. And they were like, but you still haven't told us what's going on, like what needed to be said to him at this precise moment. And she's like, okay, thanks. Nice talk, guys. So she gets up to walk away. Victoria follows her out and goes, hey, are you okay? Like, I mean, we really want to know what's going on. Like, did you go and talk to him because you were having some kind of physical ailment or something, like that? And she's like, no. And they're like, okay, well, this was absolutely the wrong time to do that. And then Dildo Katie storms up and is just like, what is going on? Like, why did you do that? Are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. I just, this whole process is really overwhelming. And she's like, yeah, I get that. But like, you just interrupted a whole group date. And so they end up letting her go for now. So she goes away and then she comes back. No. She goes away. And then the ladies are just kind of like perplexed about what's going on and why it happened. They're all pissed. Lauren is pissed. Kyla is pissed. Let's say Kyla, who's one of my favorite. Kyla is pissed. She's beyond pissed, okay? I wanted her to have a little bit of a matte brow, but we can't be choosy. Kyla's pissed about it. Lauren's pissed. This is Lauren. Let me take Kyla away so you can see. And, that's Dildo Katie. Lauren is pissed about it. She's like, we didn't get our time with him because of her. And it seems like the date got cut short. I don't know if everybody else didn't get an opportunity, but the date got cut short because of Sarah's interruption. And Anna, livid. Anna is like, Anna has had the least amount of time with Matt. Do I not have a picture of Anna? No, Anna has a very strong smile. Like her front teeth are like very, very strong. But that's okay. I think that, between the way she does her makeup and the hair, it's not as obvious. Okay, is that Anna? No. Is it? Oh yeah, that is her. Let's go take that one. And let's say okay. And there's Anna. So Anna's pissed, livid. She hasn't had as much time with Matt as anyone else. In fact, the least amount of time. And she's like, that's not fair that I didn't get my opportunity to talk to Matt because of Sarah. And so he goes and squeezes in between them. He ends up giving Rachel the date rose. And Bree really has nothing to worry about. Bree is on this date and she's been quiet the entire time. And the reason why Bree is quiet this entire time is because what does she have to worry about? Nada. She's already had her time with Matt and he brought her on a second date, which has got to be fantastic for her. So the girls are pissed, but that's the end of that. And then the next day, Dildo Katie, she spills all the tea to the women. She goes and tells them that what happened, and all the ladies are like, that's really rude, that's really weird, I don't understand. And Sarah is not there. So now it's Serena P's date, okay? So Serena P is waiting to have her date. She's waiting to have her moment. Finally, someone's going to, pay attention to her and actually know what her name is and whatnot. And all the ladies are surrounding her and they're on the couch and they're waiting for Matt to show up. And so Sarah's not there though, right? Sarah's in her room off being weird. And Matt comes up and he's wearing a camel jacket, which I don't hate, and a blue turtleneck underneath. And I'm like, okay, I wish the camel jacket was a little longer because he's a tall man. But okay. And I wish that they would show more of his shoes because I think I would be able to tell a lot more about him if I saw some shoes that he approved. So Matt notices that Sarah's not there. And he's like, where's Sarah? And they're like, we don't know. And so right before he's about to take Serena P off on their intimate date, he goes to look for Sarah. He goes to her room, finds her, and then lays on top of her and asks her how she's doing. And I'm like, let us pray. Lord Father God, bring the sin and this devil of sexual tension and pelvis to pelvis away from these two people. Let's help Matt through this process because, he believes in you, Lord, and he wants to do the best. And he needs a wife who can live up to that. Amen. So Serena P is sitting there and she's just like thinking, but she's not entertaining the negative comments that are being said about Sarah. So she just wants to have this day to be absolutely perfect. And she doesn't want to, rouse up any drama. Oh, before I move on, you guys, hey, if you feel like thumbs upping this video, that would be super helpful. I want to thank all of my moderators for helping me do this. But go on ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. That's all I have to say. Oh, 31 minutes? It's been 30 minutes already? Huh. Okay, let's get back to it. So, Serena P is really, like, not obvious. What's the word? When you expect good things or you're having hopes for good things, whatever that word is. And she ends up going on a date with Matt, and it's an equestrian date. They get on horses, and I'm just like, no, that couldn't be me because I'm scared of horses. I'm scared of any animal that could just like kick me and kill me, or like throw me off their back and kill me, or like literally run me over. Like, listen, I can't. I need an animal that only comes up to my mid-thigh. And even then, if it's a boar, I'm out of there. So scared to death I would have been. And they get on the horses and they ride, and it looks like she's a little bit more of a rider than Matt is, but we don't know. They stop at a space and they have a picnic, and he's never had a charcuterie board. So she tells him about having grapes and dark chocolate and cheeses and different types of cured meats and what a cheese board looks like. But the proper name for a cheese board is a charcuterie board. I know words. Okay, so they're eating and they're having a good time, and then they start to kiss, and their conversation is really slow. Serena's the type of girl who wants to start off very slow. And at the end of their date, she says that she's not in love with him, but she's starting to be in like with him, which to me is equally as important, right? You want to start to like somebody, like who they are and like their character. And they're kissing, and a donkey comes up and interrupts them. And I guess the donkey is supposed to it's supposed to make you comforted, but I'm like, what does that donkey smell like? I'm not into farm animals and like their smells. Does that donkey smell good? I don't think so. I can't imagine it does. Sorry, looking at my notes. And so meanwhile, we have the ladies who are like really pissed at Sarah, and they want Sarah to come out and talk to them and face them about her manipulative behavior. At this point, they're thinking that Sarah is just being super, super manipulative by pulling this trick of getting Matt to like give her extra kisses and give her extra time and to make her feel comfortable and know that she is solid in this group. And truthfully, Sarah doesn't have to do that. At this point, she has Matt's sympathy card. And so there is nothing that's going to make Matt not keep her around. Because I think that guys want to know that a girl really likes them. And he knows that Sarah really likes him. And he kind of likes her. He says he really likes her. I can't imagine why. I mean, not to say that she's probably not a great person, but in this scenario, there's nothing that she's given us that's letting me to understand why he could possibly like her or see himself marrying her. What about her gives that for me, you know? And Sarah's got this trump card. She don't have to do anything about it because Matt is already eating out of the palm of her hands. Meanwhile, Serena P, however, is taking Polaroid pictures with Matt. The donkeys are interrupting their date, but it's the kind of date that I think is fine for Serena P, you know? So then we have the switch over from the date out in the field and the date that's the dinner part of the date. And Serena P got all glammed up, girl. She went and put her lashes on. She got a sparkly lid. She's got a decent dress. And I'm like, okay, I see what's happening here. I support it 100%. And they start to talk about just like family life and expectations. They talk about how her father is a linear person and is not supportive of her being on this show because it's not the way you're supposed to find love, which is like, what do you mean the way you're supposed to find love? Things have changed. Humans have evolved. I can't go to bars and find people. There's no family friends to hook me up with anybody. What is that way? Like, am I supposed to go to Barnes and Nobles and find my man? I mean, I did it for a long time. I used to go to Barnes and Noble once a week to try to find a man. But like, I mean, also I love Barnes and Nobles. But, you know, if I wanted to find somebody, that's where I find him. That's me. I'm not at a bar because I don't drink. And we get to know just a little bit about her and their relationship. I'm not sure if they kissed. I think they did, but I was distracted. But what I did note down is that she did ask some really good questions. She asked first date questions, which I appreciated because not many people do on this show. It's hard to do so. It's such an accelerated program. Also, you've got all these other women. So it's like, why take your time? You know, why not jump in there and show how smart you are, how sexy you are, how adventurous you are. And like how it's like this, like, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I can't just sit around and like prove to myself, competition? No. So meanwhile, we have Victoria, who is back using the group's frustration about the way Sarah has behaved to her advantage. And this is where we get to see Victoria behave in a way where I'm just like, bravo, I needed to take some notes. And I actually did literally take notes on the way that Victoria was behaving and handling this whole situation. She's just like, I don't know, but like what she did was completely wrong and she took away time from us girls. And the girls are pissed to the point where they're on the side of Victoria, who they know is the villain. They know sorry, I'm yelling. They know that Victoria is the villain. Let me put this down a little bit. I don't want it to go like ugly. They absolutely know that Victoria is the villain, right? And so they are siding with her and she is flaming the fans. I mean, let us pray. Lord Father God, let's get this devil Victoria out of the way because she's causing a lot of negativity and stirring up a lot of drama with these ladies. Amen. So Anna, MJ, Kyla, and Kit are very upset. And Sarah comes down finally after 2 days of hiding out from wherever she is. And she tries to talk to them about it. And they let her have it. You know what I'm saying? They were on her neck and they weren't going to take it off. They were just like, you're going to own up for this. And you're not just going to sit here and say that you're really sorry about it. Like, who cares about what you're going through? The rest of us have not had any time with this man. And you have ruined it. Your antics ruined the evening. And so we don't forgive you. And Kit ends up telling her that she's going to have a hard time for the rest of the time that she's here in the house with these ladies. Because she's broken some kind of like policy or whatever. Oh, they come after her and she's just sitting there trying to explain herself and they're like, no, bitch, no. You don't get to explain yourself. You did what you did and it was the wrong time to do it. You could have asked the producers at any moment to have you talk to him, but no, you chose to do it in the most intrusive and selfish way possible. They were on her neck. So Dildo Katie then decides that she's going to go have a conversation with Sarah to make it all better. And so Katie has the conversation with Sarah And Sarah tells her that the reason why she needed to talk to Matt was because her father is terminally ill. And they don't know actually how long he has, but her heart isn't in this because she's worried about spending more time with her father. And this touches Katie, and Katie's like, I understand what you're talking about. I lost my father in 2012, and any time with them before they pass is valuable time. I don't want you to leave here because of us. If you have a genuine connection with Matt, you should stay here. But I definitely understand that you should go home if you're feeling this way with your dad. And my thing is like, excuse me, dildo Katie. Like, no, ma'am, don't offer to have her stay. If she want to go home, let her go home. Don't be trying to solve issues for her. I wasn't for that. I was like, you need to like act like this is your, let's move this over here. What am I moving? There's things in my way that I'm trying to move. So it was like really annoying. Cause I was like, Katie, what you doing, sis? What you doing, Katie? Let this girl go home. She's already caused everybody so much trauma and whatever. But when Katie finds out that it's because of her father, she's like, yeah, you need to go home. So Katie then goes to the girls and says to them, hey guys, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of mean girl bullying behavior that happened last night. I'm not down with it. And let's stop being petty. Let's take the higher road. And just to let you know, Sarah's on her way to tell Matt that she's going to go home. She's having some personal issues that I don't want to divulge here, but she's having some personal issues. And so, we just need to from here on out, just be chill. And some of the ladies are like, yeah, I think we just need to be chill. So then Sarah talks with Matt. She gets driven over to his suite. And she starts with oh my God, I gotta go home because of my family. And my heart's not really here. I prayed on it and the Lord Father God is sending me home, which to me, I was like, to death? Because in the Black community, when you say that, the Lord has called you home, it means that the Lord has killed you or you're dead and you're going home to heaven or wherever that may be. And so I was like, oh, but then she's like, yeah, I got to go home. But also I want to let you know that I was being bullied after what I did. And there's a lot of vicious things happening in the house. And that being coupled with the fact that my father is sick, I don't need to be here. And then the waterworks start. I mean, Katie's been basically crying and fainting this entire season. I mean, not Katie. Sarah has basically been fainting and crying this entire episode. But she really did make it the Sarah show. And if she ends up going off and doing something else, like if she ends up doing another reality show or it boasts her, credibility as a broadcast person, because she's a broadcast journalist, then I see this whole thing being worth her time. She did what she needed to do, right? She did absolutely what she needed to do to mark her territory, state her claim, and then go home and be with her family. I can't even knock it. And she says, I wish you could see my heart. And he also says that he, in the beginning when he first met her, that he felt like, he was intimidated by her, and that, in the beginning that he blew it with her and he was so interested in her. I'm like, what is it about Katie? Is she giving off some kind of pheromone? That he was like, from the very jump was like, yes, this one. I'm like, what about Kayla? What about Bree? What about Serena C? What about Mari? There's so many other interesting women here that I just didn't understand his allure to Sarah. I didn't understand it at all. And so he says that he has to, let her go, and he understands, and she needs to take care of herself and her family. And, I'm all with him on that. And then the scene, it's just so produced, you guys. Most of the time she's got her hand her hands over her face crying. And I'm like, who cries like that? Get you a tissue and cry where I can see your eyes. And then she gets into the Suburban and they drive her off, and he stands there looking forlorn as she goes off. And at some point I think he's going to run after her and stop her, but he doesn't. But that's how dramatic they made it seem. Like he was just going to be like, Sarah, my love, Sarah. But he goes back into his suite, and I think everybody's better for it. They didn't do the rose ceremony this episode, but they're going to do it next episode. And I wonder who's going to go home. Oh, he actually sent Marilyn home. Remember the one that Victoria lied about? He sent her home, and that sucks. and Katie won. I mean, and Victoria won. Victoria also got Sarah out. So Victoria is like literally has a hand in a lot of the people who've gone home, the ones that we are like cognizant of. She's had a hand in having them go home. So I find this to be very interesting. I need for him to get some chapstick though, because those ashy lips, no, sir, you're not allowed to have ashy lips on national TV. All right, you guys, so that is the end of this episode. Let's have a kiki and a conversation down in the comments section. Let me know what you thought of this episode. And obviously Victoria is like a mastermind, and I'm here to watch her do all the things that she does. If truth be told, I'm here for it. If you guys want to talk to me in the live chat, I'm going to move over to the live chat right now. But otherwise, this episode is over. So have a fantastic week, you guys. I will be putting out my Married at First Sight review pretty soon. If not today, later on today, then tomorrow for sure. Right before episode 2 happens, I guess as a little refresher for everybody. I'm going to be editing my 90 Day Fiancé video, and that will be up tonight. I promise, maybe in the wee hours, but it's going to be up tonight. So go on ahead and check that out. All right. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. All right. So now we're moving on. Let's get to my comment section over here. Very little traffic. What's happening? What's happening over here? What are y'all talking about over here? Oh, hi, Mickey. Yes, it is a surprise pleasure. Maybe I should do my lives for The Bachelor on Tuesdays. I could do that. Let's go on ahead and take Sarah off my screen because, girl, we do not care about her. Let's take Matt off. And let's take... Where's Sarah at? Oh, I'm tired. I'm also hungry. Okay, there we go. All is right in the world. All right, I'm leaving my streaming. I'm coming over here. There's something wrong with Victoria's eye. Yeah, I thought it was like that she was the bags under her eye from all her plotting. Maybe she was having some kind of eye infection, which is why she hasn't been wearing any makeup. But my thing is like, I need you to sanitize all your makeup and put some concealer on, sis. Wow, is this your first season of The Bachelor? Yes, this is my first season of The Bachelor. I did watch The Bachelorette Rachel season and whoever The Bachelorette was after her. I can't remember her name, but I did watch that. Quasi says, or Mickey says, I'm having problems finding The Batch on YouTube. My PC is down, so all I get is what you have here. I don't know if it's on here, honestly. I just record mine. But you're in Canada, right? So it might be different. I think she had a sty. Oh my God, Yolanda. If Victoria had a sty on her eye, that would be the worst possible time to have it. The worst possible time. Ramsterdam, I don't know. I saw your name there. I haven't seen. What have you been saying, Ramsterdam? Why you need to be safe? I don't know. Did you review The Bachelorette? I don't know if I remember watching you review it. Yeah, I reviewed Rachel's season, and I reviewed whoever it was after Rachel. I don't know her name. Maybe it was Katie. I don't know. What was the woman's name? The woman whose season had on the men. Who were the men? The guy from Buffalo? I can only remember the hometowns. Oh my God. You guys want to see? Oh! Get out. Bye, Charlie. That's my dog, Charlie. I hate when she like mouth to mouth me. Take off my lipstick. Oh, Victoria's not going to win Black Lavender. She's not going to win. She's only on the show to provide drama. She's not going to win. She's not even going to hit top 4. My top 4 right now, let's talk about my top 4. I think my top 4 are going to be Abigail, Kyla. I don't know. And Bree. Bree's gonna be in the top 4 too. So here, let me take away Kyla so you can see Bree. Yeah. So Bree's definitely gonna be in the top 4. I really hope that Kyla is in the top 4, and anyone else I can't really think of. Sarah would have been a contender, but she took herself out. MJ, the one who can like read spirits or whatever, energy. I don't know where she's gonna be, but MJ's interesting. I like her hair. Yeah, that's it that I have right now. I mean, Serena P has a strong, she definitely could be on there. I would love it if Serena C was on there, because I do think Serena C is quite interesting. I also like her fashion sense. Not only did Serena C have some great boots on in the rose ceremony, she also had some great boots on and a cute little outfit on during the erotic reading. She had on some like faux croc print like casual boots that were black, and then she had on a black pant, and then she had on like a bikini top, but it wasn't a bikini top, it was just like a crop top, and she had on a jacket over there. I just really like her style, you know. But we haven't really got to know many of the girls thus far. Excuse me. Who's Chelsea? Oh, you know who we haven't even seen that much of is Chelsea. I wish that there was more Chelsea. I wish Chelsea had more time with him. Ramsterdam, thank you so much. Wow, what triggered your anxiety today? And is there anything we can do to help it? No, I don't think there's anything that you can do. I can't. So here's the deal. I am trying to get my room together. My sister moved out, and then her room became available. So I cleared it out, and I started to use it as my studio. That if you guys watch my edited videos, that's the room I'm in. And she then moved back, and I was like, you can't have this room back, sis. So she's now in the guest room, and I'm just like, you have to stay there. And I told my dad, I told everybody that this is going to be my studio, and I'm painting it. I wanted to paint it. And I was like, told my dad to go get the stuff, so he went and got all the stuff for me. And then I was asking him some tips on painting because I was gonna paint it. And then he ends up saying like, "Oh no, I'm gonna paint it." Like he was talking about painting it, and I was like, "Oh, you're gonna do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was gonna do it." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I was like, "When are you gonna do it?" And so he told me Tuesday, Wednesday. And this is part of just me as a human being, like some of the problems that I have in life is, so when you tell me you're going to do something, I need you to do it, especially when it's pertaining to me. Now, so while today is Tuesday, it is 2:49, and he has not been in that room yet. And I've already taken off all the hardware off of the outlets and stuff. I've wiped down all the walls. I've moved the couch in the center. I've vacuumed in all the crevices and the creases and the windows and everything. And I'm just like, start painting. And so then I have to edit the video, and then I had to do this live, and it just got really overwhelming for me because I was just like, I planned my week out to be a certain way, and when things don't go the way I've planned, even though in my mind I have asked questions and given people the opportunity to tell me what works best for them, it hasn't been done. And it's dumb now that I say it out loud, but it was really causing me a lot of anxiety because I was like, I now have to add this to my list. Like, now I need to paint this room. I need to paint a room. I need to start painting now because I'm having furniture. I'm having furniture delivered. I've already spent money that I don't have via credit cards on a coffee table, on the couch that's in there, and on various pieces of arts work because I want to build like an artwork wall. I have started to uncover little items that I have purchased in the past in order to put on the wall. So I'm gonna put this on the wall, and I'm just like so excited for the way this room is going to be. And and how it's going to up my game and make it so much easier for me to edit and do things. I can't wait for this picture. Don't fall on my head. I can't wait for this picture to go up in there and to be back to where people can see it. It's a vagina made by a former co-worker of mine. And so I'm just like really excited for this room to happen. And it just feels like there's all of a sudden a cog in that happening, which there it really isn't. I'm just being crazy. Which is part of one of the reasons why I have a hard time letting people do stuff for me, because I'm just like, I'll just do it myself, because I want it done when you say you're going to do it. And it frustrates me when that doesn't happen. Oh, Abigail. I also think that Abigail is going to be one of our top 4. I hope she is. I was on Nikki's channel, and Nikki was saying that she thinks that Abigail's going to be the next Bachelorette. And if Abigail is the next Bachelorette, I'm definitely going to watch it. Honestly, if any of the ladies from this season is the next Bachelorette, anyone that I like, I'm going to watch it. So that's what usually happens to me with the Bachelorette. That's what the Bachelor, which is why I watch 2 seasons, because like I like somebody and I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch them. And also I'd rather watch the Bachelorette than the Bachelor. Okay, guys, we're pushing an hour, so I'm going to get off of this thing because my butt hurts from sitting on this ground, and I got to edit my video, and I got to eat. I got to edit my 90-Day Fiancé video. I have to eat some lunch. Also, Ramsterdam, I'm trying to lose weight, and that means that I have got to curb my eating, and that's another thing, is that I can't comfort eat anymore because I was overdoing it a lot. A lot. And I have been walking 5 miles a day trying to get my body back. I've been doing squats and stuff to try to just like get myself back on being healthy. So that's why I had to take the Xanax. It was a lot of things bouncing around in my head, and I just needed it to zen and focus. Yeah, so I'm currently on a leave of absence from my job. I took 3 weeks off, unpaid, like an idiot, but I needed the time away. And so everything is like, you know, when you're just used to being able to do whatever and then like you can't. And then I just spent, I don't know how much money buying artwork for my wall. So I just can't wait for the room to be painted. And once the room is painted, then my pictures are going to go up. Then my coffee table is going to be assembled and put in. And then my camera is going to be in there permanently in a spot where I don't have to move it and adjust and do anything. And I'm going to move in a desk. I'm going to take a desk that's downstairs and bring it up here. And my computer is going to be there. And so anytime I need to film anything or do anything, it's going to be in a comfortable space. It's not going to be on the floor next to a doorknob and like a closet full of clothes, you know? Like I'm just waiting to take everything to the next level. Also, I'm starting a new YouTube channel. It's not a new YouTube channel. It's my original YouTube channel, which is just Wahim Alino. And I'm going to be talking about my journey into IVF. So I haven't told anybody. So I'm just going to tell you guys. I've obviously told my family. But I was going to be a single mom by choice. I'm going to. And I started to do my fertility stuff. And I found out that I have not a lazy ovary, but because of my age of 37, 36, 38, whew, girl, she didn't know how old she was. Because of my age of 38, I have a low ABH or ABH, which is the amount of eggs my ovaries are producing. And I also have a tilted uterus. So my uterus, and like instead of your, I don't know how to, I wish I had something bendy. But your uterus is like, if this is the front of your body, the front of your uterus is here, and then like it comes, oh wait, maybe I can do it with my hand. Okay, so if your uterus is like this being the uterus, and then here and here being the fallopian tubes, and then here being like, in here being the cervix, and then here being the vagina, my uterus is like this. So whenever they are looking for my cervix, they can't find it because instead of my cervix being like here, it's like up here. And so the entrance is where my knuckle is. And so they can't find it. And so what I was going to do is just go get sperm. And I was going to go get sperm. Like it's like I'm just gonna get some sperm. No, I was looking at different cryobanks, and I was going to purchase sperm, and then I was going to have it just injected inside of me and like let it do what it does, like take some Clomid, which is like a hormone that helps you produce your eggs or help more than one eggs come out. And that's how I was like, yeah, this is going to be super easy. It's going to be a couple times. They're going to shoot me with a turkey baster and I'm going to get pregnant. I'm like, boom, bang, boom, pow, 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 pow. And then I went and started the process in October to get all this done. And there were complications because they couldn't find my cervix because it was hiding at the top because my thing is this way instead of being this way. And so my cervix was at a weird spot, couldn't get it in. And so then finally they were able to do it. And they did this thing called, I don't know what it's called. It's called HSG. And HSG, obviously when I start my channel and I start to talk about this in detail, I'll get all my ducks in a row, but the HSG sends like a blue dye through your body so that when they take x-rays, they can see if your fallopian tubes are doing what it is. My left fallopian tube is blocked. So then that cuts it down by half, right? Because you have an egg from each fallopian tube each month. And so the only times I would able actually probably to get pregnant is if it came out of my right fallopian tube. And then that would require a certain amount of tracking. And so basically when they told me all these things were going on, oh, and also I have super, super, super heavy periods. And I didn't realize that my periods are so bad until I went to the gynecologist and I was like, hey, I'm on my period. And he's like, oh no, you're fine. You can do this. And then I did it. And he was like, that's a lot. That's a lot of menses. This is a lot. And I was like, so if the doctor is like, oh, when you said you were on your period, I didn't know you were halfway dying. So so he told me that it was a lot. And he was like, you need to get your fibroids removed. And I was like, I already got my fibroids removed. He's like, well, you need to get the rest of them removed because this is a lot. And this is not going to help with the quality of your life. And it's going to make it harder for you to get pregnant, especially because one of your shits is blocked. Now you have all these things. So there's like so much stuff conspiring against me just to be able to go get some Clomid and shoot some sperm. So now I have to full on do IVF because I could do the other method, but I might end up spending more money doing the other method when I could just do IVF and it might just have an outcome. And I never thought I would do IVF, girl, because the idea of spending close to $16,000 to $20,000 to have a baby is like, well, girl, I might as well just adopt. But I'm a single person and they're not going to give a child to a single person. So it's like, who should have just been a mom in their 20s? Me, when my fallopian tubes were open and like everything was okay. But I, was trying to do the right thing. And also, my light just came at me. Sorry. I was also trying not to be crazy because I wouldn't have been a good parent at 21 or 20. I wouldn't have known myself. I wouldn't have been as solid in my at least acknowledging when I'm feeling crazy. And so that's the long and the short of it. So that's what my channel is going to be about. It's going to be about my fertility issues. It's going to be about choosing to be a single mom by choice. Having that conversation with my family. I've already had it with them and asked them if they would help me raise a kid. I would definitely want 2 children, but here's what I want is for several embryos to be viable and put those several embryos in me and keep at least 2. Because do I want to be pregnant more than once at this age when your body can't snap back? I don't. So I've been too long in this body. And now I'm scared about how that's going to change it, especially that I don't have a partner. Like, I think that it would be so much easier to go through these changes for me. I'm not saying anyone, but as long as you had somebody who was there to love you and support you. And like, I don't. So I got to just do it by myself. So I got to think about my mental state and what I'm going to be like afterwards. So this is a journey. And it's going to be a year-long journey because after I have my fibroid surgery, I can't even try to have kids for a year because of the dangers it could have. So the channel is going to be talking about that. I mean, but that's only 5 videos maybe. So I'm going to have to fill it with other things. I don't know what those other things are. Maybe it'll be me building up my studio. Maybe it'll be my frustrations just in life in general and stuff like that. I have no idea. But this channel will remain a review comedy channel. And I think that one will be more so of a lifestyle or like how I'm feeling and what's going on channel. So if you're interested in that, it's just Waha Melino. Just search my name. And you'll see 2 profiles. You'll see Just Call Me Wah. And you'll see like Waha Melino. I think I have braids in the picture and glasses. So you can follow that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Tiana, if you need to get your fibroids removed, the shit is like beyond. I have to take iron pills because I'm anemic because of my period. I don't like to leave my house the first 2 days. No, the first day 2 and day 3 of my period. I don't sleep through the night day 2 and day 3 of my period. I always mess up. I have to sleep under towels, 2 layers of towels, and an ultra tampon and a overnight pad, and I still go through all of that if I don't wake up. So it's hard, and then I'm weak because I'm losing so much blood. So yeah. Anyways, you guys, so that's the end of this episode for Reels. And I will talk to you guys a little bit later and let you know when that channel opens up and when I start talking about these things in more detail. Oh, thank you, Lynn J. Thank you for finding it. Yeah, it's user TKTHSTG. Take the stage. I obviously started it when I was just fresh out of college and I was going to be an actor. So it was take the stage. But Lynn J's got it in there, so you could definitely follow it. I don't even know what I have on that channel. I used to do, on that channel, I used to do a series called Cupcake Adventures where I would go around and try different cupcakes, specifically red velvet cupcakes, and my friends would just bring me cupcakes. And this is like old school. When I tell you guys that I started YouTube in 2007 and then I quit because I got super depressed when I moved to New York, that is the channel that I started. And I would have been like the greats right now had I kept it. 2007, child? That's baby YouTube. And I was filming in 2007 when you can only put up a 5-minute video. So I'm gonna resurrect that one. I wonder if Cupcake Adventures is still even on there. If you guys see it, look at it. This is Baby Wah. I did the master cleanse and it's on there. This is all Baby Wah. All right. Thank you, Nikki. Whew. Melissa, we're in the same process as we're going to get through it. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you later. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in whatever other videos I put up this week, okay? Be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.